You, me, and MPs. We all have a responsibility to take care of Australia and make sure we're all able to live, work, and appreciate country. Australia's First Peoples are the traditional custodians of the lands and waterways which sustain us. They've been caring for country for over 60,000 years. Following British colonisation, the running of Australia has been done through representative governments. Governments are groups of people given responsibilities to look after various aspects of our lives. In Australia, there are 3 types of governments: federal government, state, and local. Each type of government has different responsibilities. Based in the nation's capital, Canberra, the federal government looks after the whole of Australia, including tax, Centrelink, immigration, visas, and foreign policy. Victoria's state government looks after services such as hospitals, roads and railways, public transport, police and utilities like water and electricity. Local governments, or sometimes called a local council or shire, look after specific areas within each state. They take care of things like rubbish collection, recycling, parking, and cultural facilities. Governments are made up of representatives that are elected by the citizens of Australia, like you and me, to do this work. In Victoria, Members of Parliament, or MPs, are your representatives in the state parliament. They can be elected to the Legislative Council or the Legislative Assembly. Members of Parliament are elected to represent different areas of the state, known as electorates. Electorates are made up of people like you and me, known as the constituency. MPs come from many different backgrounds. Some are lawyers, nurses, farmers, accountants, teachers, or small business owners. Some MPs belong to a political party, and usually the political party with the most elected parliamentarians forms the government. The government sets the priorities of what is discussed in Parliament. The Premier is the head of government, and they choose members of their government to become cabinet ministers, who are in charge of specific departments like health, education, and transport. MPs' jobs include many different things that serve the people they represent. MPs propose, debate, and study bills. Bills are proposals for new laws. In Parliament, MPs participate in committees that investigate certain issues and bills a little further. They also talk to journalists, attend community events, and ceremonies. MPs meet with a variety of individuals and interest groups and can advocate for issues impacting constituents like you and me. They can prepare reports and share concerns in parliamentary speeches. MPs also have offices in their electorate with staff that help constituents with questions and concerns. State MPs don't have jurisdiction over federal and local issues. If you are looking for assistance on an immigration matter, for example, it is better to contact your local federal MP or the Department of Home Affairs. Likewise, if you have an issue with your garbage bins being picked up, you need to contact your local council or shire directly. If your local MP refers you elsewhere, this doesn't mean your issue isn't important. It just means that a more appropriate agency will be able to support you. Meet Joe and Samira. Joe and Samira both have trouble using their local train station. They have raised this issue with their MP, and the MP agrees that train stations should be accessible and has asked the government to support an upgrade to the local station. While many of the electorate's constituents may support building a new station in the area, some may not. They can object to the train station by organising a petition to be signed or by writing letters to the local MP. Joe and Samira can also request the community to share their opinions with the local MP. A reporter may contact the MP requesting for a comment on the train station and issues raised by local residents and businesses. There are always so many competing interests and issues to consider, but it's the MP's job to try and do what's best for the community. Once you've contacted your MP with your request for help or support, you can follow up with them to find out how your request has progressed. The MPs can email or phone you back or refer you to another service that would be better suited to support you. MPs and their staff can get very busy, and sometimes it might take a while to get back to you. If an MP does something the constituents don't like, they'll usually tell them about it and they may not support them in the next election. You can contact your MP by emailing them or writing them a letter, calling or visiting the office and speaking to an elected officer. When contacting the office over the phone or in person, you can request an interpreter if you need one.